What up guys, it's Gotcha here, bringing you guys a gameplay commentary on Standoff Demolition. Today I want to talk to you about the next gen consoles and what they mean for us and if they're even going to happen. So a lot of people are wondering like, what's going on, is this 720 real, is it PS4 real? My guess so far is that they will not be out this year, as that they still have a lot of testing to do on them probably, and that nothing's going to be happening. But we do have to realize February 20th Sony will be announcing something that will change the world, as they say. So what this could be the PS4, which I doubt, but a lot of people are speculating it could be the PS4. I guess it's going to be something to do with the Vita probably, maybe like the PSP Go was to the PSP. I'm guessing something like that. But a lot of people are guessing the PS4. But in a prior tweet, Sony announced that they would not release the specs of their next console they would be releasing until Microsoft released the specs of their next console. So is this a smart move? What is Sony's thinking behind this? Well, basically, they want to see what they're going to put in it, what Microsoft's going to put in it, and then try and throw in something better. So is this a good move? No, probably not, because last time they tried to do that and they came out with a more expensive console, they lost. I'm sorry, if you play PS3, you guys lost the initial buyout because you guys were too expensive. $600 for console as opposed to Xbox's $400. Sony announced that this new console, when it is released, will cost at least $700. Now, I don't know about you, but I can't just be throwing $700 at a new console. Not only that, they also said that they're most likely not going to be backwards compatible, which means all this money we've spent on these games will be useless. You will have to still have an old console to play them. So what I'm thinking is the PS2 came out in 2000. It was not the last game made for it was actually, they're still making games for it. They're making soccer games for it. Basically, it's over 13 years before that console will fade out. How long will it take for a 360 and a PS3 to fade out? It will take a lifetime. They will literally have to make it where they do not work anymore. But then you'll have such an angry mob of gamers after you that they won't buy your product. Now, I don't understand exactly why they would do this, why they would make them non-backwards but compatible and such. But they each have their reasoning. I don't really care. I also think if they're going to announce anything, it's going to be during E3. But we also got to remember that we're still running off stuff that was developed late 04 and 05. Think how far your desktop computer has come between 04 and 05. Think how far your TV's come. Think of all the technology that we've come across in the past 8 years that we can put into the Xbox now. Multitasking on an iPod. The Xbox 360 and the PS3 cannot multitask. It's impossible. The amount of RAM or memory in there cannot allow it. Not only that, but I don't know if you guys get it, but I get constant console lag spikes from dropping frame rates because of RAM. It's just ridiculous. This should not happen on a console. Basically, the consoles are getting old and they're trying to make the games too advanced. What are they going to do? They're going to have to upgrade eventually. Basically, Microsoft, everything they've done so far is a failure. Windows 8 failed, the Surface tablet failed, no one's buying PCs really anymore. The only thing that they can make is software, and Windows 8 failed. So they've got no choice but to release a new console or something they can give out. There was also a leak earlier this week that announced that they would also be designing a new Kinect that would be infrared, sense your fingers and extremities, as long as instead of being able to sense 2 people, up to a maximum of 6. Now that is a huge improvement, but I believe it's possible. I believe that they can make it work for the 360, honestly. It's a matter of just the camera that's inside. But honestly, I don't think enough people play Kinect for it to matter, and it's kind of ridiculous. Another thing is, I don't get why people are worried and saying, oh, if Sony releases their first, Xbox is going to lose all their customers. Most people stay with what they're comfortable with. If you are an Apple user and you go to get a new phone, you will most likely get an iPhone. You won't go in and get an HTC. Whereas if your first phone was an HTC and it breaks and you want to upgrade, you probably won't get an iPhone, you'll get an HTC. Because it's a matter of people rely on habits. So when you change something, they don't like it. So basically, people who like the Xbox will continue using the Xbox. They don't want to have to relearn everything and reinvent the wheel. Going from original Xbox to Xbox 360 was hard enough. So could you imagine going from Xbox 360 to a PS4 that is the complete opposite, that's even upgraded on the PS3, which we don't know how to run? It's not going to happen. Basically, I think that there will be a small minority that will do it, which will probably be older age men who just want the newest gaming console, and that's about it, but it's not enough to matter. Plus, another thing is the cost of these consoles. No one can afford them during these times. I mean, they're so expensive. I remember when the Xbox 360 came out, I had to work forever to get one. I had sat there and played Halo 2 on the original Xbox forever. I still have my PS2 that I used to play. So, could you imagine now? All of our consoles will become worthless, and basically, we'll have these new consoles. I don't get it. Anyways, another point is, why don't they just slowly upgrade the consoles, and then in about 2 years, the new games won't work on our consoles. So that way we'll have to upgrade, like a computer. Because honestly, wouldn't that make more sense? Because if I have to buy a new console, I'll rather invest an extra $600 into a really nice computer, where I won't have to buy like controllers and all kinds of garbage. Because next thing you know, you gotta get new controllers, then a new microphone. Next thing, I'm guessing they're not going to be like doing anything but HDMI on this new Xbox, because that's what pretty much everyone has nowadays. But people like me who use the PVR, I use RGB HD 1080p, not 1080i like most normal gamers. So that would instantly make it where I'd have to buy a new capture device. So I'd have to get, say, the PVR2 or the Elgato, which I don't want to go out and spend another $150 on that on top of that. Not only that, but think of the Turtle Beaches. They won't be working because they're not going to be... The consoles won't play in that standard of def. It will not work. So, that's another thing. Basically, they're going to render so much equipment useless. They basically screwed themselves out of making the new console. What they've done is that they've let it go on for too long. Now that there's so many people hooked onto this console and investing in this, that they can't go anywhere with it. If they make another one, then... We're not all going to be able to go buy one. We're not going to want to. It's not going to happen. So, another thing that's going on is Nintendo says they're going to release a new console. Who cares? Nintendo, everything you've released has been a failure since the Wii. You may have the most selling console, but selling at $100 and basically a bunch of 40-year-olds buying it, I don't consider your console a real console. It's basically a midlife crisis. That is honest to God what it is. No one wants it. It's basically people who have no kids go out, they're in their 40s and they want a Wii because they think they'll be fit. No, the thing is garbage. It's worse than it's newer than the Xbox. Like, it was released later, yet the technology inside is so much farther behind that it's basically a giant Lego brick that does just basic stuff. It's stupid. Like, I don't get what the point of it. Another thing that I think they might be announcing, which I think this would be the way to go. If Microsoft was smart, they release a portable Xbox. If they could pull off that, something like the PSP, except make it compatible with Xbox games, they would instantly have me buying one. How awesome would that be if you could just be playing some zombies and all of a sudden, oh, I gotta go on a road trip or something, let's bring some zombies with me. Not playing on your iPod on a tiny screen with below zero graphics. But anyways, this got you out. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope this helped you a little. Talk to you guys later.